9 countries that could completely disappear within 100 years. Do you recognize this country? Yep, windmills, beautiful nature, a great place to live, right? Or how about this? A honeymooner's paradise. What if, one day, these iconic landmarks were gone, wiped off the face of the earth? Why? Why are we even talking about this? Right now, let's run through a list of countries that are considered at high risk of completely disappearing soon, especially numbers 3 and 4. I guarantee they'll surprise you, maybe even shock you. 9 countries that could completely disappear within 100 years. And now, hit that like button and share this video so we can get started. 1. The Netherlands. Giant windmills, canals snaking through cities. These are the iconic images of the Netherlands, and I'm sure many of you are familiar with them. However, because of the threat of rising sea levels, we might not have the chance to enjoy them much longer. So, why? There's something you might not know. Netherlands literally means low lands. And it's true, 26% of this small European country is below sea level. The Netherlands was built by reclaiming land from the sea and draining swamps, so the land is already incredibly low. It's on the list of the lowest-lying countries in the world, literally. According to the Royal Netherlands Meteorological Institute, because greenhouse gas emissions haven't gone down in recent years, sea levels along the long Dutch coastline are projected to rise by 1.2 meters by 2100. Plus, the institute confirms that if the Antarctic ice sheet melts faster, sea levels could rise by a full 2 meters by 2100. And it's not just rising sea levels, we're talking about bigger summer storms and droughts. With rivers expected to be lower in the summer, it's going to get worse and more frequent. So, even though the Netherlands is a world leader in water management, they can't shake the worry that the beautiful Netherlands might disappear. Now, this is just a projection based on statistics, but people still have to live their lives, and changing things to reduce greenhouse gases doesn't happen overnight. And let's face it, humans have a hard time controlling Mother Nature when she gets angry. Still, I'm hoping this amazing country will survive and thrive. Who knows? Maybe those Dutch engineering geniuses will come up with some crazy cool solution. 2. The Maldives. Next up, another tourist's dream, the Maldives. It's a nation nestled between India and Africa, often called a paradise, with over 1,000 small islands and 26 coral atolls. It's the place where couples want to go for their honeymoon. So why is this country on our list? Just look, it's all water. And because of climate change and those rising sea levels, just like the Netherlands, the Maldives is at serious risk of being completely underwater. This isn't just some alarmist warning. Past events have already made the residents of this small nation panic. In 2004, a tsunami from the Indian Ocean caused the Maldives to lose some of its land. Many areas were flooded, and people were left homeless. And although it's mentioned after the Netherlands, the Maldives is predicted to be the first country to disappear because of global warming. And this could happen around 2085. That's only about 60 years from now. So, is the government doing nothing? Of course not. The government is working on policies to buy land in South Asia to relocate its citizens if sea levels keep rising. 3. North Korea. Bringing up North Korea on this list. Can you guess what reason makes experts predict that North Korea might soon be wiped off the map? First, it could very well be because of the harsh dictatorial regime. Experts say there have been lots of rumors about secret military coups. People who try to escape the country often risk being killed at the Tumen River, the border between North Korea, Russia, and China. North Korea has long been seen as a pretty old-fashioned and strict country. They control all the media, so any uprising is quickly crushed, and news about these events is usually covered up. That's why some experts think that under pressure from suspicion and discontent within government agencies, North Korea is likely to fall apart if it doesn't change its system. The second reason could very well be South Korea. Everyone knows about the relationship between North Korea and South Korea. But the bad news for those who hate conflict is that they'll have to worry because the North Korean government believes that the risk of conflict with South Korea will peak in 2024. This was stated at the fourth plenary meeting. North Korea believes that if this happens, invading forces like the US and Japan will jump in to provoke them. And North Korea is famous for holding grudges. They also keep testing missiles, making many of their neighbors nervous, and even superpowers like the US have to be cautious. If war breaks out there, it's hard to imagine all the terrible things that could happen. Up to now, both sides are still super tense, with North Korea stepping up missile tests and telling soldiers to be ready with their strongest power to defend the country, while South Korea and the US aren't backing down, holding military exercises to warn North Korea. So, who do you think would win? North Korea with its massive nuclear arsenal, or South Korea with the US giant behind it? Whatever happens, South Korea has already warned and told the press that North Korea has been too arrogant, and the likely outcome is that this secretive country will face destruction if it dares to act rashly. South Korea is warning that North Korea could be wiped off the map. And what about North Korea? Kim's government is just as competitive, saying that South Korea's actions of increasing live fire drills near the border are acts of self-destruction by the Seoul government. Of course, nobody wants war. Everyone wants peace. But, based on all this, it's clear these two countries see each other as enemies. No one's willing to back down, and everyone's holding their breath, waiting, and confident that the other side will be destroyed. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And next, a country that I guarantee 99% of you won't expect. 4. China, the most populated, with the second strongest economy and military in the world. Based on those highlights, you probably wouldn't think China would be on this list. But China has a lot of potential problems brewing, with disasters from pollution. Experts say that pollution is a huge challenge for this country of 1 billion people. Rapid growth has led to a huge demand for water. But China isn't using strict protection measures, which has caused tens of thousands of rivers to disappear, and the ones that are left are seriously polluted. It's not just water. Reckless exploitation and a lack of awareness have caused the ecological balance in China to decline sharply, and air pollution is getting worse fast. According to World Bank statistics, about 250,000 Chinese people die each year from pollution. This has even reached a high-level warning, leading the Chinese government to predict that they'll run out of clean water by 2030. Based on this, many experts believe that if China doesn't completely solve the pollution problem, it can't survive past 2050. Agreeing with the above-mentioned points, though, some experts believe that with its development and progress, the Chinese government will plan a way so that their country would not turn into a wasteland. Even so, some experts are optimistic about the possibility. But that's just wishful thinking. It's not very convincing. What do you think? Don't forget to share your views in the comments. 5. Tuvalu. Tuvalu, a name that's still unfamiliar to many. Maybe that's why this island nation is considered the least visited place in the world. But, according to a worst-case scenario for global emissions, assuming that the world's greenhouse gas emissions keep rising at the current rate, and considering Tuvalu's existing infrastructure, 95% of Tuvalu's capital, Funafuti, is expected to be flooded daily by the end of this century. Experts say we should start getting used to the idea that Tuvalu might only be a memory. This isn't just some theory or experts overthinking things. Even the people of Tuvalu are mentally preparing for this sad future. At one of the guest houses in Funafuti, they're selling t-shirts behind the reception desk that say, "Tuvalu, the front line of climate change," and "Tuvalu, where climate change is a reality." Just a few years ago, the then foreign minister of Tuvalu had to give a speech standing at a podium with water up to his knees. Seawater also frequently floods people's homes and businesses. Similar to the Maldivian government's migration plan, the Tuvaluan government has taken steps to protect its sovereignty and ensure its future. no matter what happens with the climate. Just recently, the country's constitution was changed to state that Tuvalu's statehood will remain forever, even if the country's physical land is lost. In theory, this is a move to strengthen Tuvalu's existence as a nation, but it raises another question about the worst-case scenario, relocating the entire country to a new place. Right now, the government is still firm that relocation is not on the table. The island nation's government has signed a security agreement with Australia, also known as the Union Treaty, which was agreed upon by the two governments in November 2023 to help 280 Tuvaluans get long-term visas each year, making sure that individuals and families can live, work, and study in Australia. 6. The United Kingdom. Many of you might be surprised to see the UK on this list, but it's a union of several different countries: England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. In the past, specifically in 2014, Scotland had an independence movement that failed, aiming to break away from England. Things got even more serious with Brexit in the summer of 2016, when the UK decided to leave the European Union, creating a major internal division. Many experts predict a high probability that in the future, these member countries will try to become independent and rejoin the EU. Although it might take time, the UK may dissolve within the next 20 years. 7. Belgium. Belgium is a free country with open borders, making it easy for different cultures to come in. This has created divisions and led to many religious conflicts over the centuries. Although life in Belgium is pretty peaceful in many people's eyes, few know that the political situation is boiling with many unresolved issues. Language differences and uneven economic development of different regions over the past decades have turned a unified Belgium into a federal country of 3 regions: Dutch-speaking Flanders, French-speaking Wallonia, and Brussels, with constant internal crises. The fact that Flanders and Wallonia are considering breaking away from Belgium to become independent countries could cause Belgium to split up and no longer have the same name. 8. Kiribati. Another pretty unfamiliar name is Kiribati, which shares the same fate as the Maldives or Tuvalu. Although Kiribati is seen as a hidden gem of a tropical island paradise, this island nation has been flooded to the point of being below sea level. Experts say that if sea levels keep rising, the entire country will be underwater, and the remaining land won't be enough to sustain life. The president of Kiribati has even called on New Zealand and Fiji to accept permanent refugees from this country. So, if anyone wants to visit, they should hurry up and do it now, because you never know when it might disappear from the map. 9. The United States. It's tough to put the US on this list because I know there will be a lot of arguments. But since it's in the realm of experts' predictions, maybe the world should be concerned. According to experts, the US is facing challenges from divisions, cultural differences, and political issues between the South and the North that have existed since the Civil War and are still very tense. In 2022, all 53 states faced demands for secession from the democratic community. This country also has tons of problems related to democracy, human rights, and protests. So, if the government doesn't solve these internal issues, there's a high chance that some states will break away. Experts predict that the first ones will probably be Texas and Alaska. If that happens, the US wouldn't necessarily be wiped out, but some places might break away and become independent. Even so, this is just a pretty vague guess. Most experts from other countries think this is far-fetched and impossible. So, we've just gone through some of the countries that, for many real reasons, are all being warned about the danger zone and are at risk of being wiped off the world map. The situation of some of these countries has indeed been confirmed by the whole world, and the story of them disappearing is probably just a matter of time. However, some others are pretty controversial, and all this information is what we've researched and gathered. Of course, we've tried to filter it and find it from reputable sources, so please watch the video with an open mind. And if you can, please add more helpful and accurate information in the comments below. And now, as always, goodbye and see you again.